public opinion and polling. All right, so what is public opinion? Here's a little example that I would do in the classroom here. What would you like open campus for seniors? Well, you guys got that, and things might change, um, maybe for more students, but that would be something if I did that. The public opinion would probably be majority people would say yes. When you don't have it, you would want it. Um, would you like the school year to end or to be shortened? A lot of people would probably say yes. And does government bore you? And I'm sure a lot of you would also say yes. So yeah, majority of you would answer yes, and that would be the public opinion of your class on those questions. So what is it? It's attitudes held by a significant number of people about matters of government and policies or the politics within the country. So it's the sum of all views, opinions of many different people. Try to get a large group of people. Again, a public is a group of people who hold the same belief or value. Do not mix this up with political party. Again, political parties are different and separate. Where do we get our ideas? A lot of times from opinion leaders, so people outside of our family and friends and teachers that hold significant influence. So, an example of this would be talk show host, people on the um, on news networks, and maybe individuals who are politicians who maybe aren't politicians anymore, but were and play a prominent role. Why is it important? Well, elections. People and politicians want to know what people care about, and they're going to run about that, and they're going to try to change those things, and that will help them get voted in as well. And how do we do this? We collect information through polls. So we ask specific questions to help guide those ideas and concepts. So again, the goal is to construct a representative sample, salient issues, meaning important issues to the people, and then have data that is responsive. You can interpret and get an understanding of it. So different parts of a poll, and this is important to pay attention to, as your sample size must be large enough to be valid. So usually around 1,000 people. So the sample size, you get around 1,000 people. Surveys can get a lot more people. We're going to create our own polls. You won't be able to get that many. But margin of error then is dictated by the sample size and population, and a rounded average of 3 is good. More than 5 is bad because that means that the answers could be plus or minus 5. So if you think 80% of the people say this, well, it also could mean 75 or 85, and that's too big of a gap. Sampling error then is a way to test it amongst multiple locations. You maybe do the Midwest and the Northeast and the South, and you want to see the results and see how close they are. Then parts of the poll you conduct it and you choose your questions. So we're going to create our own polls and kind of choose our own questions. So you can do approve or disapprove questions. Would you approve or disapprove of a manned mission to Mars, for example? Or do you approve or disapprove of the way Donald Trump is handling his job as president? That's a question that's done every week and analyzed by different outlets. Types of poll questions, again, there's enumerated response, so ranking. Which issue do you believe the Congress should focus on first? And then you kind of rank below, or checkbox maybe, relating to how someone is doing, like President Obama handled economic affairs. Do you approve, strongly approve, disapprove, etc.? Types of questions, again, free response. These are hard to kind of judge because you have to read all the responses. You have to kind of then pick and choose the categories you want to throw them in, but you can, tell your opinions, or how could we do this? How could we do that? And then analyzing. Was there any bias? Whether or not it's favorable. Like, did you only put it on your Facebook page? Did you get the poll from a liberal website? Did it favor? Did it push questions? What does the poll tell us about the United States? Good or bad? Should politicians vote based on these public opinion results? So what are some positives and negatives? Again, you see a lot of the large issues and the public opinion of those issues, but can we determine that it's really the majority? Like, who actually took it? That's really difficult at times as well. So our assignment then will be to create our own using those questions and trying to find out some information from that data. So again, think about the questions, look at the different question types that are very important to a poll and how they are worded.